Hey lemon squeezies, I hope you all are having a great week. BLT and I are officially 19 weeks this week, so that's really sneaking up on me. As of next week, I will be officially halfway through my pregnancy, and we will also know whether we're having a boy or a girl, so that's going to be on this upcoming Thursday. So by my next video, I should have an answer for you guys, and I'm really excited about that. So as you guys know, I do my updates a week behind, so this will be my update on week 18. During week 18, baby BLT was the size of a bell pepper. And I had a midwife appointment the week previous, where we did some blood work and things like that. And I got a pretty scary call from my midwife this week in regards to my blood testing. Now, I kind of knew beforehand that it was a test that some women opted out on. I didn't quite understand why they would opt out on it until now. So the testing that I had was the quad screening, which basically tests for any type of neural defect, which would be with the brain or the spine, and it also checks for Down syndrome. But it is just a screening tool. It's not a diagnostic tool. So I got a pretty scary call from my midwife. She called me on a Monday and she wanted to know if I could come in like right then to discuss some test results. And usually when a doctor does that, that means something's wrong. So I started freaking out, and I called Papa at work, and she came home and got me, and we went to the midwife's office. And basically, long story short, I was told that I have a 1 in 66 chance of BLT having Down syndrome. And at the time, it was just really overwhelming information. I was very distraught. I was very sad. I cried the entire day. I couldn't stop crying. And the doctor, after talking to her, she did explain to me a little bit further that it's just a screening tool, and it's just letting me know that there is that possibility. And the way she explained it to me is by saying, imagine if there's 66 people in a room, one of them has a penny in their shoe. You have a 1 in 66 chance of choosing that person. So I was really freaked out at first. I came home and did some research, watched some YouTube videos, did some Googling and things like that. And that did cause me to relax a lot. I saw a lot of stories of women who were told they had a 1 in 3 chance and went on to have perfectly healthy babies. I know my mother, when she was pregnant with my youngest sister, had the same issue. So it seems like basically this test scares women for no reason. My doctor actually says she hates giving the test. She said that if I had let her know that I didn't want to do it, she definitely would have let me slide on it. But with my gender scan / anatomy scan being next week, we are going to do what's also called a targeted ultrasound, which are going to look for any other signs of a possible Down syndrome diagnosis, and that would include like enlarged kidneys, or they say there's sometimes a defect in the heart that can be noticed. The heart is a little larger than normal, or there may be an extra fold of skin on the back of the neck. The eyes are a little bit more droopy and set into the skull. So I was really distraught after first hearing the results. But now at this point, I pretty much put everything in God's hands. I understand that my baby is going to be my baby, and God is never going to put anything more on me than I can bear. And I just trust that, His arms of protection are around my child. So I have chosen not to do the amnio or anything like that, because regardless of whether BLT has any type of disability or not, that's still going to be my baby. I'm still going to love my child. And it's just not worth the stress. Of course, I would like to know ahead of time so I could prepare. But at the same time, it's not going to change the love that I have for my child either. So to any of you girls out there who may be getting this test in the near future, they say that it's usually given between week 16 and 21 or something like that, like right in that range. I would not personally suggest it. It's just going to stress you out for no reason. And if any of you guys have been through the same situation and have any helpful information, feel free to let me know, because in the back of my mind, it does still bother me. But I'm just pretty much going to take it as it comes. I'm not going to freak myself out about it at all. So that was one of the down points of this week. But other than that, BLT has been moving like constantly lately, and the movements are becoming a lot stronger. I'm able to feel them sometimes with my hand on my belly, but I have to be really, really still, because if the baby feels my hand put there, it completely freezes. Like, it just completely stops. Papa has tried to catch it a couple times, and the baby stops moving. So that definitely feels great. I'm definitely excited about that. What else? The daycare is going really, really well. Still doing lots of advertising and things like that. Still lots of footwork to be done. Flyers to hand out, business cards, just networking in general. But one thing that is making my job really easy for me right now is the fact that New Orleans is just a hive of activity for the next 2 weeks. This week we have the Super Bowl down here. And then the following week after that is going to be Mardi Gras. So there's plenty of people who just want to step out, have a good night, drink, party, whatever, and just know that their kids have someplace safe to sleep. So that has been a lot of my business lately. I've been doing more daily than weekly, which for me is a lot more profitable because I do charge a little bit more by the day than I do by the week. And usually those are kids who leave earlier in the afternoon, so that gives me a chance to unwind and get things ready before Papa gets home. So far so good. Everything's pretty good. I've been blessed with some really awesome kids so far. I haven't had any type of behavioral issues or anything like that so far. So things are still going really well. And my nephews definitely enjoy having the extra children around their age, so, someone else to play with, stuff like that. So things have really been working out on that front. It's still a little on the scary side just because it's still so new, and I like to be fully prepared and think ahead and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just really learning excuse me, to trust myself and be patient and realize that Rome wasn't built overnight, and just to be thankful for the little bit of business that I do have, and moving from there. So as far as symptoms this week, I did have one day last week where I was really dizzy. And it was only on that one day. And it was like whenever I would stand up or sit down, I believe it was last Tuesday, I would get really lightheaded. Other than that, no nausea this week, but I have had some vomiting. And it's just crazy because it comes out of nowhere, but at least I know it's coming. I'm able to get to where I need to be in order to handle that and go on with my day. So, and that's usually early in the morning. And I've noticed too that it's right after I take my thyroid medication. So like I'll take that in the morning with a bottle of water, and probably about within 15 to 20 minutes after that, if I'm going to throw up, is when I'm going to throw up, which kind of always freaks me out because I'm like, okay, do I take another pill now, or was that enough time for it to absorb in my system? I never know. So, and that's something that I need to ask my midwife, and I always forget when I'm there. So I'm going to make sure to write that down of things I need to ask her. Like I mentioned earlier, my nose is runny constantly, even to the point now where I'm waking up out of my sleep sneezing. It's crazy because I constantly have to have some type of tissue in my pocket, in my bra, somewhere, because it just drips. Like, it'll be completely stuffy, and the next thing you know, there's just this huge drip, and it's disgusting. And then everyone assumes that I'm sick, so they're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't leave my kids with her because she's got a runny nose. And I'm like, oh no, it's just because I'm pregnant and disgusting. So that's always fun. The knee pain that I mentioned last week, I said it was down to one knee. Well, it's back in both, and it's painful, to the point where, like, if I sit in one position too long, it's almost like my knees get stuck, and I have to, like, ease it back out of position. Going to the restroom is kind of painful, both sitting down and getting up. It's making me feel like I need one of those big, thick donut, like, grandma toilet seat things. I don't think I'm quite ready for that emotionally yet, but I just see that in my near future. And I also notice, like, when I go to stand up, I have to spread my legs, like, really far apart and get a really good stance to be able to stand up without my knees really, really hurting. So that's sexy. Also, I'm having some shoulder issues and some hip issues. I'm just falling apart here. Basically, my shoulder, I fractured this arm when I was 7, so it's never been quite right. And I basically broke everything between my wrist and my shoulder. So, I went through a lot of surgeries and things like that, getting my arm back right when I was younger. So now that I'm getting older, it's definitely starting to cause me some problems, especially because this is my favorite side to sleep on. So when I sleep on it all night, whether it be just like this or with my arm up, it always causes me a lot of pain. And most mornings when I wake up, I have to pop it back in the socket, which is really disgusting, but true. For like the last 3 days, it's been in a lot of pain. I can barely lift my shoulder up like past even this high without it really, really hurting. And it won't pop. Like I'm like, you know, doing all the normal things that I usually do to make it feel better, and it's not helping. I've even like been really massaging down inside of my shoulder. That doesn't seem to help either. So that sucks because like I said, this is my favorite side to sleep on. And then on my other side, I am a side sleeper. On my other side, my hip is hurting. And so it's like all night I'm switching back and forth because I'm like, oh great, I finally get to sleep on my left side. Oh no, now my shoulder's hurting. So I flip over and now my thigh is hurting, or my hip is hurting. So I'm like switching back and forth all night, which isn't fun for Pop because she does have to work in the morning. And then I lay on my back and I get to sneezing and snotting, which is fun. And then now if I lay on my stomach, I can feel the baby, and the baby's like, dude, get off me. So I know a couple of my friends have told me that they ended up spending their last couple of months of pregnancy sleeping in recliners and stuff like that, just because they couldn't get comfortable any other way. And I'm really hoping that doesn't happen to me, but we'll see what happens. Other than that, really no other symptoms. Eczema is back. That never went away. That's been the worst it's been since I was a teenager, since I've gotten pregnant. That's really about it. There's not really too much else to talk about this week. One thing that I did start that I thought may just be interesting to bring up. I know I was talking to Misha about it, but I started what is called freezer cooking, and that saves me a lot of time. So basically, I did some research on YouTube. I watched a bunch of videos and stuff like that, but the majority of the women who do it, they basically set it up so they only actually have to cook one day out of the month. I wasn't really ready to take on that much, so I decided to try it for 2 weeks, and it really helped out a lot around the house. So how I did it is I got like a box of the Glad freezer bags, and I think they were like gallon size or something like that, which they were way too big. I could have gotten smaller because it's only just myself and Papa who actually eat dinner here. Most of the kids are either fed by the time they're dropped off if they're overnight, or they're leaving before dinner time. So I don't have to feed the kids or anything like that as far as dinner's concerned. But like I got like a bunch of ground beef. I got a bunch of chicken breast and things like that. And I basically cooked my meat and prepared it for each meal. So I did like some of my ground beef, I did like spaghetti. So I would do the ground beef and then pour the spaghetti sauce into the bag and freeze that. I also did sloppy joe. I did some beef tacos, stuff like that. And then I also did like grilled chicken that I diced up, and I made that for chicken fajitas. And I did for chicken Alfredo and chicken tenders. And so basically I prepare all of my meat for the next 2 weeks. So when time comes, say like 5 o'clock, my kids go home. 5:30, time to start cleaning up the house. 6 o'clock, I usually try to jump in the shower real quick. By 7, Pop's home. So at like 6:45, I can grab one of my bags out of the freezer, throw it in the microwave, put it on defrost for about 10 minutes. And basically my meat is done, and the only thing I have to do is prepare my sides. So I'm able to have every night dinner prepared, ready to go when she gets home from work. And it typically only takes me between 10 and 15 minutes to prepare. So that is pretty kick-ass for anyone who is really short on time but really likes those home-cooked meals. That's something that I would strongly suggest. So if you guys have any questions about that or anything, let me know. Also, I am going to be doing my diaper tutorial. I want to try to get it recorded today once Pop gets home, but I don't have like a easel or anything like that to hold my camera for me, so I would actually need an extra set of hands. So I'm going to see maybe if tonight when she gets home, if she'll hold the camera for me so I can show you guys how to use the diapers. But if she won't do it, I know my sister will, so I'll get that recorded for you guys this week. And last but not least, I have officially started an Instagram page. So my name is the same there. So if you guys want to follow me there, feel free. As of right now, I only have 2 pictures. I'm still kind of new to it. And like I said, trying to get my business off the ground and stuff like that. So it's not like I'm sitting there all day on my phone, you know, posting pictures and stuff like that. But I always follow back. And like I said, the name is the same there. Ain't That a Mother? And I think that's really about it. I'm getting ready to do a belly shot and get out of here, because I got to get this nap in before Pop gets home. And I'm out of breath as always. So let's see what we got. Uh-oh. I just knocked my little blade thingy out the wall. So this is our belly, which is definitely getting bigger. As you can tell, I'm definitely poking out now. There's no hiding it. There's our belly. And there's bare belly. And as you can see, I've got a little spot of eczema there that's clearing up. I've been getting a lot of eczema on my belly. So I've been making sure I've been doing a lot of moisturizing and things like that on my belly lately. But, yeah. All right, well, it was great seeing you guys again this week. See you next week. Be easy, lemon squeezy. Bye.